Hey everyone, it's Heidi and welcome to another episode of Baby Name Sunday. Today's list, I'm going to be sharing my current favorite boy names from A to Z. I'll be giving you guys a name for every single letter of the alphabet plus a couple extra. I actually did this video this time last year, so definitely go check that out. I'll have it linked down in the description there. Lots of new names, and the names have changed over this year, so I thought that was really interesting, and I thought it would be really fun for you guys to kind of join in. So in the comments, if you can, write down your current favorite names from A to Z for boys. And I think that would be so fun for all of us to see what kind of names we enjoy, because I feel like everybody's list is going to be completely different. All right, so moving on into the list, you'll definitely see that my kind of vibe for boy names is either very strong in the sound or in the meaning, or sometimes both. First name for the letter A, I have for you guys the name Ayer, spelled A-Y-E-R, Ayer. Oh, I love the sound of it. It's derived from the Old English name Heir, H-E-I-R, and it was also the name of an English philosopher. I love shorter A names. My son's name is Aries, and I feel like Ayer and Aries sound really handsome together. They give off that same kind of cool boy vibe. Then for the letter B, I know a lot of you guys are gonna love this one, and I just fell in love, and that's the name Bowden, spelled B-E-A-U-D-E-N, Bowden. It's both English and German originated, meaning hill shaped like a bow. This one, I love the spelling because you can do that nickname Bow, B-E-A-U. It just has that sweet softness to it, but it has that strong sound that I always love. Okay, so for the letter C, I begged Davian to name our son. If we had a son, this was before Aries, name this name. And he was just not a fan of it. It was a complete write-off. So this is definitely a baby names I love and I will never be using, unfortunately. So that is the name Caspian, spelled C-A-S-P-I-A-N, Caspian. So Caspian is a sea name. It's the sea, actually it's the largest inland sea between Asia and Europe. I also loved it because it sounded very whimsical. It was in the Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis, if you guys have ever read the books or watched the movies, and I just fell in love. I've loved it, honestly, over 6 years, since before I had kids, and it's just, it's one of those names that will forever be in my heart. Moving on to the letter D, I have the name Draco, spelled D-R-A-C-O, Draco. This one has also been a little bit of a sweet spot for me. I love Harry Potter, I'm a big fan, so it just makes sense to me. And Draco is actually a Greek from Latin originated name meaning dragon, so I love the power behind that. Also, it has those Greek roots, which you guys know I love Greek names. For the letter E, E was actually really hard because I find a lot of E names are kind of a little bit more softer for my liking, but I love the name Everlyn, spelled E-V-E-R-L-A-N, Everlyn. So this name I actually kind of made up in a way, and I posted it on Instagram and everybody was loving it. I gave it the middle name Slade, so Everlyn Slade, just to make it just, People were like, wow, I love this. This is so cool for a boy. Having that Ever as a first name for a boy was really kind of unique. I tried to find a little bit of information on it. It was really hard. So it is a modern invented name, but it could mean knows no boundaries. So I also had the same issue with F. F names are hard for me, but I found one because I really love the name Finn, but I found the name Fintan. F-I-N-T-A-N, Fintan. It's actually an Irish originated name meaning white fire, cool, or white bull. So there's power behind the meaning. It also gives off kind of a medieval sound to it, Fintan. I can really see this as almost like a Viking name. Okay, switching it up here. For G, I actually have two names because I couldn't pick between the two. They're just both so cool and they give off different vibes. First one I'm gonna let you guys know about is Georgie, G-E-O-R-G-I-E, Georgie for a boy. Gosh, this name honestly is just something to me. I don't know, I love it. It's actually a Greek originated meaning farmer or earth worker. I think it's one of those classic timeless names for a boy. I just think it's so flippin' cute that I couldn't say no to it. And for another G option here, I have the name Galway, spelled G-A-L-W-A-Y, Galway. This one actually more so has a surname sound to it, which I've been actually drawn to a lot of surnames recently. And Galway is actually an Irish place name, but it's also the name of a poet and a novelist. For the next letter on the alphabet, which is H, I have two options here again. I couldn't pick between the two, and H is kind of a soft spot. I might be biased because my name is Heidi. So for a boy, these ones give off two different vibes as well. So I have the name Haven, spelled H-A-V-E-N. I've loved this name more so for the boys than for the girls, and the meaning of like a safe place. I think that's really impactful for me, at least for a boy. I don't know, I really like that. Then for something completely different, I have the name Hiro, spelled H-I-R-O. Now this one's a Japanese originated name meaning broad or widespread. We're just obsessed with Japanese names. Hiro for a little boy. Hiro is actually the short form of Hiroshi, which actually means generous. So I love that meaning as well for a little boy. Moving on to the letter I. This is my all-time favorite I name because there's so many nicknames that you can pull from it, and that's the name Iverson, spelled I-V-E-R-S-O-N. It's an Old Norse originated name meaning son of the archer. So this one definitely has a surname appeal to me. You can do the nickname Ives, Ivor. There's just too many of my favorite I names that can come from this for nicknames. That's why I'm so drawn to it. All right, so moving on to the letter J. This one has been a newcomer for me. So this is the name Jedson, spelled J-E-D-S-O-N, Jedson. I was really drawn to the nickname Jed for this. Let me tell you, Jed is so cool to me. But this one's a Hebrew diminutive meaning beloved son of the Lord. Very unique if you're wanting a little bit of a biblical inspiration. And then that brings me to the letter K. Now this name is #1 on our boys side list that definitely we won't be using, but this is the name Kenji, spelled K-E-N-J-I, Kenji. We've mentioned it before. Kenji is a Japanese originated name meaning second son, so that's something we absolutely love because it technically would be our second son. And we love Mars for that middle name, Kenji Mars, just so it has that kind of celestial aspect to tie in with Aries Orion. Next name on the list here, for L, I have the name Lockhart, spelled L-O-C-K-H-A-R-T. Another Harry Potter inspired name here. I love the name Locke, and I love the name together, Lockhart, because the meaning is very powerful. It's Scottish originated, meaning strong like a lock and has a brave heart. Okay, so for M, this one is also a name that I actually would probably push next to Kenji for me personally, and this is the name Marsden, spelled M-A-R-S-D-E-N, Marsden. This is another surname inspired name. It's actually an English surname meaning Boundary Valley. I find this name is so unique and it's definitely way down the charts right now. If you love Mars for a first name and you're wanting maybe something a little bit more longer to have that nickname Mars, Marsden is totally for you. All right, I'm totally laughing right now because I have another S-O-N ending name for N. My N name on the list here, I have the name Nelson, spelled N-E-L-S-O-N, Nelson. Nelson has Irish roots, meaning son of the clouds. Like, come on, how dreamy is that? It's such a timeless name, and it's definitely a much more unusual classic or traditional name for a boy. Next up here, we have O, and this one's a little bit out there, so bear with me, but I love it. And this is the name Odyssey, spelled O-D-Y-S-S-E-Y, Odyssey. I love the nickname Audie or like Odie. I think that's just too cute to me. I'm a big fan of like Otis, Odin, those style names. So I think Odyssey just brings that whole wowness to a next level. And Odyssey is a word name, which I love the meaning, a long wandering of an eventful journey, or your eventful journey of life. Moving down the list here for P, guys, I am shocked. I have 3 names for P here. Pick 3, because I couldn't choose. So the first one I have for you guys is the name Perseus, spelled P-E-R-S-E-U-S. This one is a Greek mythological name. It was actually the son of Zeus, which makes it kind of ironic because Aries is actually the son of Zeus, which is my son. So thought it fit in perfectly here. And it means destroyer or avenger. So it has such power behind it. Then I have the name Princeton, spelled P-R-I-N-C-E-T-O-N, Princeton. I think this is completely adorable. Prince's town, that's the meaning. I love the nickname Prince for this. I think it just has has this regal but very cute sound to it. Then last P name here, and this one's a little bit more out there, and that's the name Pompeii. Spelled P-O-M-P-E-I-I, Pompeii. It's an ancient city in Western Italy, full of history from the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. Pompeii, like, have you ever thought of that for a boy? Nope. I love it. I was talking to one of my girlfriends and we just fell in love with it. All right, okay, so next one here for the letter Q, I actually have two names here. Couldn't choose between them, so giving you both. I have the name Quinzy, spelled Q-U-I-N-Z-Y, Quinzy. I love this for the nickname Quinn. Quinn has always been one of my guilty pleasure, absolute favorite names that are more popular. Never would use it because it's too popular. So this one is definitely a name I 100% would use for that nickname, and it's French originated, meaning estate of the fifth son. So Davian, maybe if we're having a few more children, our fifth son, we can do Quincy. And then for the second Q name here, I have the name Quest. So Q-U-E-S-T, Quest. Now for Quest, I love the brother to be named Odyssey, Odyssey and Quest. I think that is just way too cool. And Quest means seek or mission. Anyways, moving on to R. I have the name Raleigh, spelled R-A-W-L-E-Y, Raleigh. This one is edgy, cool, almost has like a southern feel to me, and it's English originated, meaning meadow of the roe deer. Has that unique L-E-Y ending name, which is a very trendy ending for a name right now. I think it's a kind of a unique option. Next letter on the list here for S, I have a really cool name here. It's the name Sway, spelled S-W-A-Y, Sway. This one reminds me of like the swaying of the trees, the grass, the wind in your hair. Something about it, this name just really like speaks to me. And I also love how it has this edge to it, like Sway for a boy. I don't know, it would be really cool as like that cool boy name, Sway. Then for T, I have the name Thurlow, spelled T-H-U-R-L-O-W, Thurlow. Like, how freaking cute is this? I can totally see like Thurlow and Princeton as being like sibling names. The cuteness level right now is like an 11 out of 10. And this one's English originated, meaning from the thorny town. Okay, we're making our way down the list here. We're on to U. Now U, there isn't a lot of U names that I really love, but I do love the name Urban, spelled U-R-B-A-N, Urban for a boy. So it's a Latin originated, meaning of the city or from the city. So I think this is a really cool word name, kind of spunky and very futuristic for a boy. And it kind of gives me an artsy vibe to it as well, Urban. For the letter V, I thought I totally created this one, but I didn't. You know, that always happens. So this is the name Vero, spelled V-A-I-R-O, Vero. Another really handsome V name. I actually love V names for a boy. Valen, Valentino, like any of those, like those are like romantic handsome names. That's what the letter V falls into, that romantic letter category. So Vero is actually an English word, I believe, meaning steering. So hey, that could be like steering your way into life. I don't know, steering your way into the right direction, moving forward. I don't know, I feel like this could have a really cool symbolism behind it. Next letter on the list, W. Okay, this is a great sibling name to Draco because it has this almost dark romance sound to it. And this is the name Wicklow, spelled W-I-C-K-L-O-W, Wicklow. Just imagine boys, Draco and Wicklow. Like, I don't know, those two together, I don't know, those O's in it. I feel like Wicklow should also be a Harry Potter character, but it's an Irish place name rooted from the old Viking word meaning meadow of the Vikings. And with those L-O-W endings, or like low, Harlow, Winslow for girls, Wicklow for a boy, and it sounds very masculine as well. For the letter X, this one was so hard also to find because X names, I feel like I just throw on X names to Z names and I call it a name because they sound very similar and it just works. For X, For the boys, I love the name Zade, spelled X-A-D-E, Zade. I shared this recently on Instagram. A lot of you guys loved it as well. And I gave the middle name Numair, Zade Numair. Numair actually means panther. So Zade is a modern take on an Arabic name meaning increase or growth. So really great characteristics behind that growth. A little boy that's growing up to be a very handsome and a very strong man. All right, so that brings me down to the last 2 letters of the alphabet. So for Y, my very favorite name for boys for Y is the name Eve, spelled Y-V-E-S, Eve. Or you can do Eves, a lot of people pronounce it like, but the proper way is Eve, and it's a French originated name meaning you would. I've always loved the brand, you know, the kind of popular brand Yves Saint Laurent. Like, woo, that just sounds like a very kind of royal regal to me. I'm not normally drawn to those sort of names, especially for a boy, but I love Eve for a boy. I don't know. It's kind of gives off that same Haven, Everlyn, Eve, all of those there, more so sounding for the girl side. I love them for boys' names, so those girls' names for boys. And then that brings me to my very final letter on the list, and that is Z. Now, Z names to me are the coolest, some of the most modern and futuristic sounding ones, and they always have such incredible meanings. Now, this Z name for boys, we've always loved, and it's always been a contender on naming a boy in our family. Whenever we get to the point, like when we were naming Aries, it just was too popular at that specific time that I just couldn't. We had to steer away from it. But now it's not, I feel like it's not as common as you think. So please, somebody snatch this one up, and that is the name Zion. So Z-I-O-N, Zion. This is just the creme de la creme. This is the name for boys. I don't know, I love the sound of it, and it's a biblical place name of Hebrew origins meaning highest point. It is also the name of a national park, Zion National Park. Oh, I just wish it wasn't as popular when we were picking out boys' names, because we would have totally used it. So that is it with the list, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this, kind of my favorite names right now from A to Z for all the letters. It's like my baby names I love but I won't be using. If you guys haven't already seen my last year's 2020 version of this video, please go check it out. I'll have it linked down below, and you'll see some really new and interesting names there. And I'm really excited to make this kind of like a yearly name list that I will do every single year. And then next week I will be doing the A to Z girls list. So be on the lookout for that. And again, take care. I hope you guys are staying safe and having a fabulous weekend. And I'll see you guys next Sunday with another baby names list. Bye!